The Boston Celtics have a 2-0 lead in the 2024 NBA Finals. But is this series over? Well, it's complicated. And we will talk about that and more in the Game 2 recap and review of the 2024 NBA Finals. This game started with Kyrie and Luka emphatic on scoring and establishing themselves on offense as scorers to provide a level of confidence for everyone else on the team. The opening minutes, Dallas was also extremely aggressive on the offensive glass, starting with Gafford, and even Kyrie was aggressive on the offensive boards. Joe Mazzulla called a timeout pretty quickly, as the Mavericks were visibly just outworking just about every Celtic. I would like to note Jaylen Brown was extremely aggressive early, however, it was all centered around him on the glass and defense, as the offense didn't run through him to start, which was weird to see, especially after his performance in Game 1. The Mavericks made a very stupid choice in challenging a call within the first 5 minutes of the game, and they lost it, and that was just not ideal. But after that play and that timeout for that challenge, Porzingis would proceed to check in and make his presence known. The Mavericks took the punch and punched back, though, in large part due to the Celtics' reliance on threes and Luka Doncic. But the Celtics' offense running through Porzingis at the high post still had no answer, allowing Porzingis to carry the offense to close out the first quarter. Luka Doncic was vintage Luka to start the second quarter as he was scoring at will, but the Celtics started to get more feel on the offensive end, so the Mavericks actually lost the lead. The game was ugly though immediately after that, however, as both teams were going 100 miles an hour, leading to some ugly transition offense. When the Celtics had the momentum, Derrick Jones Jr. went on a run to help snatch the momentum away from the C's. The first half ultimately concluded with a 3-point Celtics lead, and Jrue Holiday was the best offensive player, as he had 17 at half, as he was attacking his matchup, being the engine for the C's offense. With his performance in the first half, combined with what Porzingis was doing, you would think the lead would be bigger, but Luka Doncic was dominating the entire half and was simply unguardable. If you were expecting a typical Luka first half domination and a Kyrie second half domination like me, then you were wrong, since Kyrie Irving was not great in the second half. But that's a little bit of a spoiler. Let's talk about the second half in a recap. The second half started kind of slow, but the Celtics would ultimately hit the first burst. Dallas did have an answer, however, and this answer was shown through a monster slam by Derek Lively to ultimately kill Boston's burst. Luckily for Boston, they called a timeout and got Porzingis in the game, where he would immediately score, which then led to Boston's offense getting their fluidity. Dallas did not punch back, and Boston got increasingly comfortable and confident, leading to them going up by double digits. The Mavericks' offense just could not make anything unless it was shot by Luka or assisted by him. And it definitely does not help that they cannot hit a free throw, because what are they doing? They couldn't hit them if their lives depended on it. And I said this was an X factor coming in this series, and look at it. They just cannot make free throws. However, the Mavericks would regain their momentum until, of course, Peyton Pritchard hit a buzzer beater. And if you turn the game off after the Peyton Pritchard buzzer beater, I wouldn't blame you, because it didn't get much better until Kyrie Irving got an assist to Daniel Gafford. That was the play that got Kyrie going, because the next play he got a bucket after absolutely struggling to get anything going the entire game. At least I thought. Then Derek White decided to turn into Steph and pulled out a deep three to beat the shot clock. At that moment, I thought the game was over. But Porzingis looked to maybe re-aggravate his injury or developed a new lower body injury. Either way, the defense from the Celtics backcourt came up big to get a massive steal that led to a Jrue Holiday 3, and then the next possession, Derek White hit one. He would then get a game-sealing block to end the game as Jaylen Brown got the game-sealing bucket. And that's the end of Game 2. That's my recap. Now for my analysis. Oh, man. Sad. I'm rooting for the Mavericks, and it's just sad. I don't really got much to say. Porzingis re-aggravated his injury. It sucks. As someone that is rooting for Dallas, you just don't want to see that. It'll be interesting to see if he can play the rest of the series. Obviously, this is a type of injury you don't take lightly, and his presence has been felt on both ends significantly, and who knows what will happen. Jason Tatum, we'll talk about you when we look at the box score. We'll talk about everybody when we look at the box score in a moment. You could say PJ Washington got fouled on that one of the final plays when he got blocked by Derek White. But realistically, if he made that dunk, would Dallas have came back? We don't ever know. We won't know. I mean, it was still, 6-point game. He makes that dunk. It might have been a 5-point game, makes a dunk, 3-point game. Yeah, a lot could happen, but there's a lot of what ifs in basketball. What if it was called a push in the back? What if Dallas made their free throws? I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, that was a foul. Like, there's a lot of missed calls in the game of basketball. That's just what basketball is. You can't call every single thing, since there are a lot of fouls that don't be called. But yeah, it sucks that we have to wonder about that, but who knows? And then my last takeaway after watching the game is that a lot of people are going to jump to the conclusion that this series is over. Everybody who had Celtics in 5 is raving about how much more dominant the Celtics are. On paper, the Celtics are the better team, but the Celtics do not have the best player in this series. Luka Doncic is the best player in the series. And from my personal estimation and what I've seen in the NBA and what I've seen in the history of basketball, if you have the best player in a series, the only way you lose that series is once you've lost 4 games. And the Dallas Mavericks have not lost 4 games yet. They have the best player, so they are still alive. The series is not over until the best player's team has lost 4 times. They could be down 2-0, they could be down 3-1, they can be down 3-0. I don't think the series is over until you win the 4th game. Dallas is going home. The role players are going to play better. They'll probably make more free throws, at least I hope. Now, Boston is better on the road, notoriously. But, it's the NBA Finals. A lot of things can happen. The Dallas Mavericks were good on the road this entire postseason, and they lost 2 games on the road. So, yeah, this series is far from over. I don't think it's over. I still have Mavericks winning in 6. Now, probably more likely 7. Kristaps Porzingis is really going to be the telling sign, because if he's hurt, I am not even second guessing the Mavericks winning this series, if I'm being honest, because, Porzingis has made it so difficult for everybody with his shot blocking, with his scoring. Like, the Mavericks just can't handle Porzingis, and if he can't go, the Celtics can't continue to beat the Mavericks, because Jason Tatum, he's shooting... Well, let's just look at the box score while we're right here thinking about it. Now, before I read the box score, I obviously did not show Jrue Holiday enough love in this video. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Jrue Holiday was absolutely amazing on both ends. Derek White was amazing on both ends. Literally everyone on the Celtics outside of Jason Tatum was amazing on both ends. Now, Jason Tatum did have 12 assists. I know Jason Tatum lovers are going to be talking about this for the next decade. But 6 of 22 in the NBA Finals. Like, oh my goodness. How much can this man be defended? Sure, you had 12 assists. You play on a team with Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis. I hope you could get 12 assists. Like, man, oh man. Jrue Holiday was 11 of 14 tonight. He had 11 rebounds and 26 points. 0 turnovers. Jrue Holiday was amazing tonight. This dude was an all-star like 2 years ago. No, wasn't he an all-star last year? He was an all-star last year. But this team's not a super team. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are all-stars this year. Derek White was supposedly supposed to be an all-star this year. Kristaps Porzingis was an all-star in his career. Al Horford was too. Like this, I absolutely hate how there's a narrative that this isn't a super team. Like, Jrue Holiday was an all-star last year. But anyways, Jason Tatum, you were 6 of 22, 1 of 7 from 3. How much more can you Celtics fans or Jason Tatum lovers defend this dude? I'm sorry, but not one superstar top 5 player in NBA history has ever won a finals game shooting 6 of 22. Alright. And 1 of 7 from 3. That's all I gotta say. Al Horford, 5 points. what is he on the court to do? Play defense, and he did do that. Drew Holiday, amazing game. Derek White, I mean, efficiency was kind of awful, but 18 points, +8, a bunch of big time blocks. He had 2 blocks. It felt like more. 3 steals. I mean, it felt like more. His defense was absolutely amazing tonight. Jaylen Brown. Now, you're going to look at Jaylen Brown and see, you're going to look at 21 points, 8 of 15 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3. Well, guess what? You're going to automatically jump to the fact that Jason Tatum had 12 assists. Well, let's look at Jaylen Brown, who had 7 assists. Now, Jaylen Brown also had 6 turnovers. Now, I'm not here to say that Jaylen Brown is better than Tatum, since I do not believe that. Actually, you know, it's hard to even pick one. So I'm not even going to voice an opinion on that. I'm just going to say that, like, this shouldn't be surprising to anyone. I mean, when Drew Holiday's playing like he did last year in the regular season, you're not going to beat the Celtics. Now, on the Maverick side of things, Luka Doncic, 32 points, 11 assists, 11 rebounds, triple-double, 12 of 21 shooting, questionable last shot, 4 of 8 from free throw. Now, everybody else besides Daniel Gafford made every free throw, and Josh Green. All right. Luka, you shot 50% from the line. That's just not acceptable. Kyrie Irving, where are you at? 7 to 18. That's a lot better than 6 of 22, but like, really? The whole world's rooting for you right now, Kyrie, and you're getting us 16 points. 0 made threes. Now, I know you're seeing Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Jason Tatum on defense, but like, I know it's an impossible task to just like try and score on all of those guys, but it can't be 7 to 18. But Luka had 8 turnovers, my goodness. Daniel Gafford, 13 points, 9 rebounds. That was a good game. A lot better than what we saw before. Derek Jones Jr., 11 points, 3-2. Yeah, not bad. PJ Washington, 17 points. I thought he was going to get going after he hit his first 3 tonight, but that was the only one he hit, so not too much to say about that. Derek Lively has not had the same impact ever since the concussion or neck sprain, whatever y'all want to call it, and the Mavericks bench just not great. I mean, everyone outside of Luka really wasn't that great. Derek Jones Jr. did impress me, though, tonight, so I'll give him the co-star of the game for the Mavericks. But yeah, Boston's up 2-0. I'm not sold that Boston's going to win the series, though. Because if Porzingis is out, then we got something else to talk about, because the Celtics have looked terrible in the series without Porzingis on the court. And that's just the truth. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.